The normal functioning human arc starts today. I went to bed early and woke up early. I'm feeling early.
I don't know how obvious it is, but I'm a big fan of Lego.
Oh, really?
Wow, really?
I hadn't noticed.
You?
No, I know. It's quite hard to tell. So because of that, I have a few smaller. This, for example, this is the tractor from the Complete Saga. It's from Dagobah. Essentially Yoda's tractor. It doesn't have the wheels or a few pieces. The reason why I haven't completed it, this one specifically, is because I haven't bought the parts. Parts cost money, and money costs money. I thought it might be a little interesting to go through some of the projects and tell you why I'm not doing a video out of it, and or why it's not done. There's probably two similar reasons we're about to hear quite a bit. Chicken Knights. Status, it's a never-ending project. My Chicken Knights are just a bunch of custom, mostly custom, partially custom Lego figures that I've been putting together over the past few years. It started with this one, who I made on Lego's online minifigure factory maker custom minifigure torso designer thing. And since then, I have been using these as an excuse to put all the custom parts we get to some use. I wasn't always a fan of customs, and I'm still not the biggest fan, but since we've started going to conventions, we get a lot of custom parts, mostly for free, but also whenever you go to a convention, often there are goodie bags and you can get free custom stuff, but there's also the occasional things that we picked up just for funsies. They'll go straight to here. Some of them are a bit more straightforward, where just the torsos are made from minifigure factory, therefore technically not fakes. But then the grass piece on that staff is not real Lego. While others are a lot more not Lego-y. They're all just on a little base that I whipped up to have somewhere to keep them all collated. It's one of those never-ending things that I'll just keep constantly tweaking and messing with. And I don't think it's that interesting for a whole video. Status, I'm just missing some. I've been collecting these things since they started in 2011 with Yoda, and the only figures I'm missing at this point is the Santa Porg and the BB-8, who both have either exclusive or relatively rare parts that I couldn't easily part together, and I just haven't bought them yet. Otherwise, it's all done, and I have proof. I have the Christmas employee set. Claire crazily got it for me for Christmas a few years ago, before it went up to the outrageous amount that it's going for now. The rest of the set's still in California, though, because that's a pretty precious box that I don't want to destroy. And how's the camera battery already dying? I just started. What the heck? Lego City. Status, I need to build a whole city. I have the smatterings of a city starting here. Oh, that's a horrific angle. And smatterings might be a little bit too generous. I really like the scale of the Monkey Kid city set. Oh, the ones that started with these two, then the original wave of Monkey Kid sets, the Noodle Shop and the Panda Store. It's kind of like an 8x8 or 8-ish by 8-ish. Framing scale of building, and I quite like that, so much so that I did my own for a video a little while back. It's 8x8, but kind of, mostly. There's some stuff popping out all over the place that doesn't necessarily put it exactly on that footprint, but it's a pizza place, and the whole theme around it was trying to incorporate and make a duplified, or make it with Duplo parts from the set. It was the Building 100 Lego set video, and this was part of it, and I wanted an excuse to build that, and I want to keep building more, and I will. That's what this is for, stuff that I want to work around or use work into the city, but I want to do it at that scale, and I'm probably to keep myself in some sort of box. I'll give myself a time limit, like 24 hours, something arbitrary, just so I don't keep going on endlessly, because as a lot of you probably are aware, Lego cities can never end if you don't want them to end. That's just a video that I'd like to work on relatively soon. Lego Dragon Ball. Status, I have no idea. I started a video a long time ago now that I didn't get very far in. I got these two Bionicle knockoff Dragon Ball figures. I mean, Bionicle they're definitely a construction figure adjacent thing. I have not opened them because I was going to do that for the video, but the video itself couldn't just be two little lonely figures and that's it. It had to be something more. So my follow-up thing was, instead of trying to make an enormous Dragon Ball mock, or even just minifigure-esque scale, which would take a long time, I was trying to get this done relatively quickly. That didn't happen. I would do it in a micro scale, because I was working on the Minecraft video at the time, so that's where my headspace was. So I did a lot of the characters in micro scale, like the Z Warriors. I was also trying to get some buildings or recognizable things in that scale. So I was working on Kami's Lookout. Obviously, I didn't get very far. I did so many sets of characters. Ginyu Force, Majin Buu Saga, Androids, Tournament of Power contestant, and a handful more. Plus, I pulled out some of my figures that could be used somewhat in the area. Like, that's kind of like Vegeta's hair, if it were orange. And tell me that's not an Alibaba Goku figure. The video itself wouldn't have been strong enough with just the micro builds. Maybe if I would have done one or two micro builds and then done an actual minifigure scale thing, I could do it, but as of right now, the payoff didn't seem worth it to get done. That's not quite the issue with this next one. Godzilla City. Status, in shambles. Turns out I like doing micro scale stuff way before Minecraft video ever came along. They did this costume lizard guy as a CMF, I don't know, 2012, maybe earlier, maybe later, I don't know. They also did Gorilla Suit, King Kong, and then this Power Ranger looking guy, which would have been Ultraman in the setting, even though I've never watched Ultraman and I know nothing about it. No, not nothing. But I started building a micro city. This was started in Ohio, and, well, it survived a move to California and here. And by survived, I mean, that kind of still looks like a building. My building skills have come a long way since then, so it would have been better now, but I was doing all sorts of techniques. The reason why I stopped this one, other than the fact that I was moving all over the place, I don't think I had enough parts. Maybe I might have made it work, but the whole idea was to make this a giant film site. I started building a whole filming crew and all of their equipment they needed, and I was gonna put it in a warehouse and then probably take it to Chicago. I don't know if I'm gonna do that still, since it's still in pieces, but it came from, the whole idea came from a Lego game, a Lego board game, the City Police Chase one, where there's a bunch of micro-scale buildings, and I use that as a ground point. That one's down the line, maybe. I don't know, kind of excited talking about it again. I need to stop. Gungan Army, status? That's a lot of money, man. I, being a product of the 90s, am a fan of Jar Jar and the Gungans. Well, Jar Jar not that much, he is objectively annoying. I have 4 of them. I mean, I have a few more than these, I think, maybe. It's a stretch if I actually do. But I have 4 of the 6 figures that they have made. And then I also have 3 of the Kadu. I would like to have an army. I have a few other things in here, like some of the advent calendar builds that they did, and that's it. There's not a lot of Gungan stuff, and most of it's wrapped up around expensive submarines that I don't have. I would like to do an army. I think it'd be neat, and if they ever reissued a Gungan that wasn't Darth Jar Jar and just a normal soldier, I might try to amass a few of them, maybe, depending on how much they are. To what extent, I don't know. I don't know if I could actually make a video out of that. At least not a super interesting one. I wouldn't have a large enough army to make that the main focus, so maybe it could be part of a more of an ensemble video where I make weird armies or something, which I have been tossing around because I have a few weird armies, some unexpected ones, and I'm not talking about Jack Stone. I've already mentioned that one before, but some more outside of that. Fun fact, did you know I am the one and only reason why this was ever made? I'm not gonna elaborate, but you're just gonna have to believe me, or not, your choice. It doesn't really bother me either way. Lego Avatar, status, kind of disinterested. Also expensive. I mean, no, seriously. It is expensive. I have both the sets and a handful of extra figures, and I'm just gonna ramble through this real fast instead of going back and forth. You know what, no, I'll show you. I have the 2 sets in here. I've built them quite a few times. I have extra figures in here. I've built them quite a few times. I even have a Clone Trooper Aang that someone gave me very generously. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because I don't watch the show nearly as much as I used to. I used to watch both it and Legends of Korra at least once a year, or maybe it's because it's getting so popular and that bugs me. Or maybe it's because the creators and the people that are involved with creating more content are going down a route that I don't quite enjoy. Star Wars, anybody? On top of the figures, and now the exclusive elements going up in price to a rapid rate, doing anything at scale is not super practical. And I've done a few smaller things, and maybe I would like to do my own custom figures at some point, but as of right now, I'm just probably help if I watch the show again. Not the live action one, I don't want to watch that ever. Masonry bricks. Status? It's just not that interesting. Masonry bricks or brick bricks are some of my favorite parts out there. I mean, they're just little bricks. That's fun. That's really fun. They also have big Duplo ones, of which I'm missing 2 of the colors. And the only reason I haven't got around to it is because I only really buy them when they show up in someone's eBay or Bricklink lot, or if I come across them in the wild, which is not that common. I have all of the regular ones, all of the 1x2s and all of the 1x4s that aren't Q parts, which are non-production parts. They're parts that aren't made and put in sets. There's a red one of these, which is like 15 bucks for a part, and I thought about it, but also paying $15 for a brick is incredibly stupid. Not that I have not spent way more on one single element than that before. Please don't ask me what it was. I don't have any ideas other than just, did you know Lego made bricks? Bricks? Whoa! Food trucks. Status? I already did a video. God bless it. This is a different project that Claire's working on down here, so that's not a part of my video. Lego food trucks. I like them. I collect all of them, and I own all of them except the ones that have come out this year. I've picked up a few. Was that last year? I don't know. There's 3 or 4 that I don't have that came out just this year, that the only reason I haven't got them yet is we either wait for those sets to go on sale or we wait for some sort of GWP or double points and we'll get it then. I did a video on almost all of these quite a while back, and I kind of thought about revisiting and redoing that video because I could have done it better. I enjoyed the video, don't get me wrong. I had a good time doing it, but I believe I've become a lot better at making videos since then, and I could really revisit and redo the topic and do a lot better of a job, and then also actually do all of them properly. Like this was one of them that I didn't really do properly. It's an alternate build, a back of the box alternate build for a pizza to go set, and I just didn't have the parts and or patience to put it together at that point in time. Plus with all the additional ones that they have done in the last few years, because they have done quite a few, I think you know, honestly, the video doesn't have enough views, and it's been so long that's like 2 years since I've uploaded it, no one would even care, so I'll probably end up doing it because I like food trucks. But apparently I don't like making videos that have a higher likelihood of getting views. See, that's another area where I'm going wrong. I'm not making things people want to watch. I'm gonna stop there. The more I talk about all these tiny little projects that I have, the more I realize all these tiny little projects that I have, and I could keep going for way too long, but I am genuinely curious. Is there any small weird little Lego collection that you go after, or any small building project that you work on that isn't necessarily a common thing for people to do? I would like to hear about it. For example, brick costume guys that they put out a handful every once in a while. Is there anything like that, or even non-Lego? It can be something not Lego. Usually when you look up weird collections on YouTube, it is weird. You maybe don't mention if it's really weird. I don't need to know about your fixation with roller coaster steel tubing and how you like to have affairs with it.